goal, 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 goal. President Donald Trump, he scored big with Barron Trump yesterday when he invited Cristiano Ronaldo, the famed soccer star, to the White House for the state dinner featuring the Saudi crown prince. Cristiano Ronaldo plays for the Saudi team, and President Donald Trump was excited to have him there, as was Barron.
This room is loaded up with the biggest leaders in the world, business, sports. You know, my son is a big fan of Ronaldo, wherever Ronaldo is here. Ronaldo. And Barron got to meet him, and I think he respects his father a little bit more now, just the fact that I introduced you. So I just want to thank you both for being here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just a little bit more than he already did for respecting his father, for being the two-term president of the United States of America and bringing America back from the brink of destruction. I'm sure Barron had a lot of respect for his father, but having a big-time soccer star come to dinner, that must definitely help. And of course, I haven't heard any of the pushback about Cristiano Ronaldo yet, but I'm sure there's people out there who are burning his jerseys this morning just because he was seen at the same table with President Donald Trump. Elon Musk also made a return to the White House. And this, of course, was because of the state visit from the Saudi crown prince bin Salman. This was a tumultuous press conference that they had because, as you might imagine, there were some fake news reporters in the audience who had some difficult questions about the crown prince, about Donald Trump, about their business dealings. One of them was this woman from ABC News who asked some very rude questions and got torched by President Donald Trump.
Is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion. That I can tell you right now.
Yeah, and that's President Donald Trump saying, look, this is the reason why we're here. We're here for investment in the United States of America. We're here for building bridges. We're not here for tearing them down, which you're doing. And also, your attitude stinks.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind. It's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. But I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today.
And all the other things President Donald Trump has brought to the forefront and all of the other successes. And last night, the Epstein files, or yesterday afternoon, rather, the Epstein files, the vote passed in the House of Representatives, and there was a unanimous consent order in the Senate, and that has been passed. And now they head to President Donald Trump's desk for signatures, where he may or may not sign it. He said he would sign it, but there are some amendments that he wanted. There are some amendments that Mike Johnson wanted. They did not get attached in the Senate. And so we'll see what happens from here. But President Donald Trump, writing on his Truth Social, said that he doesn't care how long it takes for the Senate to pass the bill. And it didn't take him long at all. He doesn't care how long All he wants to do is put everything behind him. All he wants is the Epstein files off the desk so we can move on from this Democrat hoax and we can continue to make America great again, which has always been his number one goal, returning to the White House. The other thing that he talked about was, of course, the Abraham Accords, which is one of his pet projects from the first his first stint at the White House, and it's something he wants Saudi Arabia to be part of. They've secured a very cool alliance where they are a non-NATO ally, one of the biggest non-NATO allies, and that's something else he surprised people with at the state dinner.
So that's why tonight I'm pleased to announce that we're taking our military cooperation to even greater heights by formally designating Saudi Arabia as a major non-NATO ally, which is something that is very important to them. And I'm just telling you now for the first time because I wanted to keep a little secret for tonight. I just heard him say, "Oh, that's nice. That's another point you won today." And signing a historic strategic defense agreement, which we just signed a little while ago. So congratulations. It's out there.
That is very big news. By the way, they celebrated also with a walk along the Walk of Fame at the White House. And I wonder what was going through the Saudi prince's mind when he came across the Biden auto pen photo. I wonder what was going through his mind when he sees President Donald Trump and then this weird contraption spelling out Joseph Biden's name in ink, and then another photo of President Donald Trump. That's one of the things that I always ponder, what these world leaders imagine when they see this framed photo of the auto pen hanging on the wall. But I digress. The Abraham Accord, something else President Donald Trump was looking for commitment on. And while he got $1 trillion from Saudi Arabia, he did not yet get a definitive yes on whether or not they're willing to join the Abraham Accords. But there was some discussion.
I don't want to use the word commitment, but we've had a very good talk on the Abraham Accords. We talked about one state, two state. We talked about a lot of things in a short period of time. We'll be discussing it further, too. But I think you have a very good feeling toward the Abraham Accords.
Yes, definitely, Mr. President. We want peace for the Israelis. We want peace for the Palestinians. We want them to coexist peacefully in the region. And we will do our best to reach that day.
Yeah, and that is something that they will continue to discuss. Now, another question coming up in 2025 is the Fed chair and whether or not President Donald Trump has yet chosen who's going to be the new Fed chair. The Fed chair, Jerome Powell's term expires next year. President Donald Trump will not be renewing him as Fed chair. So who will be the new pick?
We're getting closer to the end of the year. Have you started the interviews for the Fed chair?
Yes.
Who have you interviewed?
I think I already know my choice.
Who is it?
Well, I liked him, but he's not going to take the job. He refused. You like Treasury better, right?
Much better, sir.
So we are talking to various people. And frankly, I'd love to get the guy currently in there out right now. But people are holding me back. He's done a terrible job, hurting housing a little bit. The truth is, we've been so successful, we've blown past his interest rate stupidity. He's been wrong. That's why I call him too late. He's too late. Jerome Too Late Powell. He was recommended to me by a guy that made a bad choice. And it's too bad. But despite that, it's having very little impact because we have all of these things happening. But it has an impact on housing to a certain extent. He's a fool. He's a stupid man. But we have some very good people.
Yes, sir. You'll be sitting down with them in the near future. And
we have some surprising names, and we have some standard names that everybody's talking about. And we may go the standard way. It's nice to every once in a while go politically correct. But we have some great
every once in a while go politically correct. President Donald Trump said, Scott Bessent was my first choice, but he wants to stay at the Treasury Department. He's already got a cush position in the cabinet. He's doing a great job with it. And while I think he'd be an amazing Fed chair, he declined the offer, so we're going to move to someone else. But President Donald Trump doing his best to help all Americans, especially when it comes to those interest rates and housing rates. One of the other things that they're doing is they're basically rehashing the entire SNAP program. This is one of the byproducts of the Democrat shutdown that may have blown up in their face. While they shut down the government for over 40 days, and while they were threatening SNAP benefits, the SNAP program is now being revamped by President Donald Trump's administration. And anyone who wants SNAP benefits has to now reapply. and prove that they are worthy of or deserving of or in need of the SNAP benefit program.
Hey, I have a handy dandy chart. I was getting to the affordability piece of SNAP. Almost 40% increase under Joe Biden of what was spent in the people that entered the food stamp / SNAP program. That's 40%. Of course, they were working to buy the election. But what we have seen and what Doge and our amazing team at USDA, 186,000 dead people are receiving SNAP benefits. 500,000 people are getting paid twice. We've made hundreds of arrests. We have a lot more to do. But this was, I think, an unintended consequence of the Democrats shutting the government down for 43 days, is it shined this very bright light on one of their pet programs and now has given us a platform to completely deconstruct the program, make sure those vulnerable Americans who really need that benefit are going to get it. And for all the rest of the fraudsters and the people who are corrupt and taking advantage of it, we're going to protect the taxpayer too.
That's exactly right. That's always the main goal. SNAP benefits have been beneficial, but also a waste, just like everything else coming out of President Joe Biden's administration. Everything was either money going to the Democrat coffers, money just being wasted by a government agency, somebody getting rich off of your taxpayer dollars. That's all it was over and over again for years. And now President Donald Trump and his administration are flushing all of that out every single day. And he does it in a way that he does everything else. A series of characteristics, a series of steps, if you will, or ideals that just prove overall excellence in everything that he does. And that's why we've written our book, Go Trump Yourself, which kind of highlights everything President Donald Trump does on a daily basis. Whether it's his entertainment career, whether it's his political career, whether it's running a campaign or raising a family, President Donald Trump's motivation and his skills and his ideals toward life have really proven to be beneficial, not just for him, but for everyone he comes in contact with. And Go Trump Yourself is available right now for you to download instantly. It's a digital download. There's an audiobook as well, bundled together. It's only $24. Go Trump Yourself. Get this book today. Start living like Trump tomorrow. Go to gotrumpyourself.com. Gotrumpyourself.com or click the link in the description of this video.